is Newsnight, where we go above and beyond the headlines. I'm Pia Ontiveros. Tonight on the program, the country is back to high risk for COVID-19 as Metro Manila officials impose strict limits on movements of unvaccinated and partially vaccinated people. More hotels are on the radar over reports of alleged quarantine violations, and motorists need to shell out more for a big-time fuel price hike in the first week of the new year. As COVID-19 cases double by the day, the country is back to high-risk classification. The rising cases reverse gains when the numbers improved to minimal risk last month. Today, the health department reports over 4,000 new cases, 16 more deaths, and almost 500 recoveries. The numbers exclude data from 23 laboratories. More from Caroline Bonkin.
From only around 300 cases a day, COVID-19 infections rose to an average of over 2,000 daily within just a week. That's a 7-fold increase. And Metro Manila was again ground zero for this spike as COVID-19 cases dramatically grew by over 800% within 2 weeks, 1,100% in just 7 days. Nationwide, it grew by over 200% within 14 days. Of 100 people getting swabbed, more than 19 are testing positive in Metro Manila and 10 nationwide. The virus is spreading fastest in Metro Manila, with one patient infecting at least 5 others. Health officials point to people traveling and gathering during the holidays, and possibly the highly transmissible Omicron variant is spreading in the community. There are now 2 local cases of Omicron in Bicol and 1 in Metro Manila.
Doon po sa ibang bansa, double ang numero ng mga kaso every 2 days. Sa Pilipinas, nakikita na po natin yung trend na ganyan. Kaya ang ating assumption ay nakarating na po sa ating komunidad ang Omicron. Kailangan pa rin po natin ng definitive or confirmatory test.
The UP COVID-19 pandemic response spokesperson saw a shift in COVID-19 trends in mid-December. And if Omicron is in the community, he says it's possible the variant has been spreading since November and will more likely peak with 20 to 40,000 cases between January 15 and the 3rd week of February.
3 times more transmissible itong Omicron. Kasi we feel na habang dumadami yung cases, mas maraming nagiging unreported. Kasi ito palang Omicron, mostly mild or asymptomatic yung cases. So more people will just stay at home or hindi magpapatest.
While Omicron is more infectious, studies in the UK showed it is only causing mild illness. 40% will not have symptoms, unaware they're carrying the variant.
Sa other variants, it's 5 days. So Omicron, baka as early as 3 days meron na. Pero even earlier than that, pwede ka nang nakakahawak.
Infectious disease specialist Dr. Edsel Salvana warns the public must remain on guard. While Omicron may be less deadly, the rate of its spread is a concern.
Yung mga vulnerable, mas mataas pa rin yung chance nila magkaroon ng severe. Ang problema natin is dahil ang bilis-bilis makahawa ng Omicron, pwedeng mas marami pa rin yung pwedeng mamatay pag sobrang dami talaga yung mahawa.
Health experts once again reminding the public, avoiding closed and crowded places, observing physical distancing, keeping your mask on, and getting vaccinated remain effective shields against Omicron. Caroline Bonkin, CNN Philippines.
Vaccine expert Dr. Nina Gloriani says almost all vaccines available in the country have lower efficacy against the Omicron variant. This is why she says it's important to take the primary doses and booster shots. Gloriani adds partial vaccination provides up to 52% protection against hospitalization. Full doses can give up to 72% protection against severe infection, while booster shots can increase protection up to 90% against the Omicron variant.
Importante po na makapagpabakuna ang lahat. Yung hindi pa na kahit nakakaisa, kailangan pong makaisa na kayo. Tapos sundan nyo, siguruhin yung susunod ay may bibigay sa inyo at after 3 months, yung 3rd dose na po, yung booster actually. So yun po, importante na magpabakuna ang lahat.
In the wake of the fight against the coronavirus, the Food and Drug Administration chief announces his resignation effective today. Eric Domingo says he has done his part to help during the pandemic, and there are now better systems in place at the FDA. The FDA primarily responsible for the approval of vaccines against the coronavirus. The Tourism Department is looking into reports that more hotels are violating quarantine policies. This comes amid the controversy involving a traveler from the United States who skipped quarantine to attend a party. David Santos has more.
The Tourism Department getting word from tipsters about more foreign travelers skipping quarantine. Secretary Berna Romulo Puyat revealing on Monday about another lady traveler who recently flew in from the U.S. Accordingly, she went straight to her condo instead of checking into a quarantine hotel. Puyat telling the source the lady even had the audacity to brag about skirting the rules.
After this incident, somebody gave the name, even gave pictures na the day she arrived, nagpamasahe pa, as in she was even posting it on Instagram stories. Very proud na she was skipping quarantine. And then her name was given and the person who knows her even gave a sworn affidavit. Nahuli na rin yung taong yon.
The tourism chief did not identify this latest quarantine violator, but her case has been endorsed to authorities. DOT is looking into similar cases involving 2 to 3 other hotels. It is also awaiting the explanation of Berjaya Makati Hotel, where the now infamous Poblacion girl was supposed to be staying. She went partying in a Makati bar when she's supposed to be on quarantine, only to find out later she tested positive for COVID-19. Officials say 7 of her identified close contacts have also caught the virus. The MMDA now wants security forces deployed to quarantine hotels.
We're planning to get the cooperation of the PNP here, Philippine National, lalo na sa Bureau of Quarantine, yung mga nakakatakas, yun ang nakakainis sa lahat. Nag-iingat ka sa lahat, bigla may tatakas mga hawa ng iba. Siguro, what could be done here is request also the presence of the police in these areas, dahil hirap na hirap tayong ganitong nangyayari, tapos merong mga taong nag-i-skip ng quarantine at posibleng magkalat na sakit.
The Coast Guard earlier tasked to secure quarantine facilities including hotels, ICE reassigning personnel. Authorities are still studying legal actions against those involved in the case of Poblacion girl. Among them, violations of the law on mandatory reporting of notifiable diseases, while Makati has an ordinance on mandatory quarantine. Both have fines and imprisonment as penalties. The police say it is finalizing its criminal complaint. The Makati LGU also saying it is not taking the case lightly, calling it a serious breach of the public health and safety rules. David Santos, CNN Philippines.
Online learning is back in the next 2 weeks as a safety precaution amid the COVID-19 surge, and with Metro Manila under alert level 3, this also puts on hold plans to expand the test run of in-person classes. Teachers appeal for better planning in carrying out distance learning.
Paano yun? Every time na may panibagong variant, ipapasarado ang school natin. Ano yung game plan nila para sa mga estudyante sa education? Diba, sa mga teacher?
Transportation authorities are stepping up monitoring of compliance to health protocols amid the higher alert level. Enforcers apprehended 5 public utility vehicles for violating the 70% passenger capacity limit during operation at the Welcome Rotonda in Quezon City. A van was also caught covering its UV Express sticker to pass along a prohibited route. The jeepney drivers said they were unaware of the passenger cap, but officials point out this has been in effect since Metro Manila was placed under alert level 2 late last year.
Biyaya ko kapon, di ko alam balita. Gabi na ako nung gumarahe. Kaya nagulat na nga lang ako na bakit may ganito na naman. Hindi ko lang, kung alam ko lang, ba't akong pupuno, ma'am?
Pag sinasabi po nila hindi nila alam, that is not an excuse. Kasi matagal na po yung 70%. Dapat po aware sila doon. Ngayon nga lang po, mas lalo po lang binabantayan ng mga enforcers.
More hospitals in the National Capital Region see a spike in COVID-19 patients at the Dr. Jose N. Rodriguez Memorial Hospital in Caloocan City. Confirmed and probable cases are now at 163 from 25 before the holidays. Around 70 are moderate, 5 are critical, more than 20 healthcare workers. But the hospital director says the situation is still manageable as there are over 500 beds designated for COVID patients. The facility also restocked on oxygen tanks and medicine. The Philippine General Hospital in Manila also see more people coming in for COVID-like symptoms. Its spokesman says the PGH now has 150 patients from a low of 30 before Christmas.
Nagkaroon ng maraming festivities, gatherings, so na-violate yung minimum health protocol. So expected na tataas yung cases post-New Year.
A lot of our healthcare workers who tested positive are fully immunized. Some even had their booster, and so they usually are asymptomatic and mild. About 60% of the admitted patients in PGH right now are fully vaccinated, and they have the mild to moderate condition.
Both hospitals say none of the admitted patients so far are confirmed to have the Omicron variant. Meanwhile, the health department logged a 9% rise in hospital admissions and emergency room patients nationwide. The agency asks those experiencing mild symptoms to maximize telemedicine and government hotlines to avoid crowding hospitals. Coming up on Newsnight, the unvaccinated in Metro Manila will have less freedom to go out under Alert Level 3 in a bid to prevent them from catching COVID-19. And 2 mayors in the region add to the surging case tally as they test positive for the virus. More when we return.
Gringo Honasan po. Sa pagbangon ng mga Pilipino, saludo ako sa mga taong patuloy na humaharap sa hamon ng pagbabago.
Bilang isang ina, handa akong gawin ang lahat para sa kaligtasan ng aking mga anak.
Pandemya man, tuloy pa rin ang serbisyo para malinis ang kapaligiran.
Serbisyong publiko para sa kaligtasan ng lahat.
Sa panahon ng krisis, ikaw, ako, magtulungan tayo. Gringo Honasan po. Saludo ako sa Pilipino.
I am ready to serve. Kasi para sa Panginoon, hindi lang ako 4th runner-up. First place ako sa puso niya.
Mahalagang paalala, ang MX3 capsule ay hindi gamot at hindi dapat gamitin panggamot sa anumang uri ng sakit.
Amid the darkness, look on the bright side. It has never been this good for Philippine golf. The country was able to send its best golfers to the last 2 Olympics and clinched a major championship. First, Miguel Tabuena competed in Rio 2016, followed by Bianca Pagdanganan and Filipino-Japanese golf sensation Yuka Saso in Tokyo 2020. Months before Tokyo, Yuka won the prestigious U.S. Women's Open. With Philippine golfers breaking through on a global stage, the country's golfing community thrived and became vibrant.
It's always an honor to play for the flag. There's always a different feel of playing for something bigger than yourself.
It's really great to see how much golf has taken off, especially last year. It was a tough year for everyone, but I think golf is one of the sports where you could implement safety protocols.
Since 2005, International Container Terminal Services Incorporated, or ICTSI, has been supporting the training of Filipino golfers, including the staging of pro circuits by Pilipinas Golf.
ICTSI and PGT, LPGT are doing a great job providing the professional golfers to have a tour in Philippines.
Me, Yuka, and Bianca would 100% agree that we wouldn't be where we are now without ICTSI.
Over the years, golf greats like Jennifer Rosales and Frankie Mendoza and current superstars like Yuka, Bianca, and Miguel have gotten support from ICTSI and Pilipinas Golf, helping them achieve their goals, including the promotion of Philippine golf worldwide. With ICTSI's support, golf is the silver lining in Philippine sports. I'm Sam Sidwani, CNN Philippines.
Welcome back to CNN Philippines. Motorists starting 2022 with more expensive fuel. Several oil companies announced they will be raising diesel prices by 2 pesos and 40 centavos per liter and gasoline by 1 peso and 85 centavos per liter effective 6 a.m. tomorrow. CA Oil also announced a 1 peso and 85 centavo per liter hike for kerosene. Uni-Oil earlier said they will also increase diesel prices by 2 pesos and 40 centavos per liter and gasoline prices by up to 1 peso and 90 centavos per liter. The Metro Manila Council approves in principle a resolution requiring the unvaccinated and those partially inoculated to stay at home except for essential activities. Trisha Terada tells us the national government supports the move.
The stay-at-home order for unvaccinated and partially vaccinated people will be temporary. MMDA Chairman Benhur Abalo says the restriction is in place when the region is under alert level 3 or higher. Based on the approved resolution, unvaccinated and partially vaccinated people will only be allowed outside their homes when buying essential goods, going to work or exercising within the vicinity of their homes. They can't go to restaurants, malls, hotels, and other leisure areas. While the effectivity date has yet to be set, the national government lauds the bold move.
Kaya nga natin ginagawa dahil ayaw na nating mag-lockdown. Ayaw natin. We should learn to live with the virus.
Alam naman po natin na yung mga unvaccinated individuals pose a threat to the community. Therefore, maganda po yung naging desisyon nila.
Authorities say the restrictions are for the safety of those without protection against COVID-19. Presidential Advisor for COVID-19 Response Vince Dizon says the unvaccinated comprise 85 to 90% of COVID-19 hospitalizations abroad.
Pang-apat na na-surge ito simula noong 2020. Napababa natin ang mga kaso, lalo na yung Delta, na napababa natin ng mabilis. Kung tayong lahat ay magtutulungan at simple lang po, lahat tayo ay dapat magpabakuna.
Dizon adds the entry of the Omicron variant is inevitable. He says the government has been preparing for this since last year. He says the health department has sent test kits among various laboratories. The government will also rehire contact tracers and get more workers on board to prepare the healthcare system. Interior Secretary Eduardo Año has instructed the police to help local governments in enforcing Alert Level 3 guidelines and pocket lockdowns. They will also conduct random inspection of establishment and quarantine facilities. In the meantime, the Trade Department says Metro Manila's shift to Alert Level 3 would cause around 100 to 200,000 jobs on hold or about 200 million pesos in economic losses. Trade Secretary Mon Lopez says the government will keep an eye on the healthcare and ICU utilization rates in the coming days.
Kung hindi gumagalaw itong ICU at walang lumalala naman, it will give us the confidence to, again, go back to alert level 2 kung kinakailangan at para mabalik natin yung alert level 2 at yung dami ng SME businesses na pwede uling magbukas at dami ng trabaho na pwede ulit.
Trisha Terada, CNN Philippines.
2 Metro Manila mayors test positive for COVID-19 as cases in the region spike anew. Pasig City Mayor Emmy Calixto Rubiano is now undergoing facility-based isolation. She started exhibiting symptoms like sore throat last Saturday. This is the second time she contracted the virus. The first time was last February. Her chief of staff says the mayor will hold online meetings from her isolation facility and will continue to fulfill her duties as local chief executive. Last Sunday, Navota City Mayor Toby Tiangco confirmed he tested positive for COVID-19. Tiangco advised all those who had come in contact with him to observe their health condition. He also said he would continue to perform his duties as mayor. Quiapo Church in Manila closes its doors amid rising cases of COVID-19. The Minor Basilica of the Black Nazarene will be shut down starting today until Thursday, January 6. The parochial vicar says the church will carry out disinfection ahead of the Feast of the Black Nazarene on Sunday. Novena Masses will be held virtually until the church opens again this Friday. The Commission on Elections is set to live stream the preliminary conference for one of the disqualification cases against presidential aspirant former Senator Bongbong Marcos, a first in the poll body's history. That announcement coming from Commissioner Rowena Guanzon. The proceedings involving the Marcos camp and Akbayan on Friday will air live on Facebook. 6 members of the media will be allowed to attend the hearing at the session hall. Guanzon warns anyone disturbing the proceedings will be cited in contempt and will be sent to jail for 48 hours. The hearing will look into Akbayan's petition to ban Marcos from holding public office because of his 1995 tax conviction. There are a total of 6 pending cases against him. Meanwhile, his lawyers say Marcos had ordered the closure of the BBM Sara campaign headquarters today until further notice after more than 20 of his staff tested positive for COVID-19. Marcos will also stop all activities and sorties until January 15. Presidential aspirant Senator Manny Pacquiao also suspending political gatherings because of rising COVID cases. Now, the Cusi-led faction of the ruling party, PDP Laban, defends its petition asking the COMELEC to reopen the filing of the certificates of candidacy. Amid accusations, the move is an attempt to derail the 2022 elections. The Cusi wing says it is only exercising its rights under the election law. The faction wants the COMELEC to extend the filing of COCs, which already took place last October 1 to 8. The group also argues the poll body should not proceed with the printing of ballots yet, while petitions against certain aspirants are still pending. Edgardo Barbo, vice chairman of the rival PDP Laban faction, had accused the Cusi wing of pushing for a no-election scenario this year. Meanwhile, Senator Ping Lacson says while he is not accusing the Cusi-led faction of trying to delay the polls, any move to extend the president's 6-year term is forbidden under the Constitution. PDP Laban has no standard bearer for the 2022 polls after Senators Bato de la Rosa and Bongo withdrew from the presidential race. A probe is underway after a Sunday night riot at the New Bilibid prison in Muntinlupa. As of this morning, the Bureau of Corrections reports 3 prisoners were killed and 14 others injured from gunshots after a heated argument between 2 adjacent dorms. Bureau spokesperson Gabriel Chaklag told CNN Philippines the riot was not gang-related. Photos from the Bureau showed 6 improvised guns, a loaded .22 caliber revolver, and bladed weapons from the scene. Authorities have isolated 7 people believed to have played a role in the violence. Justice Secretary Manado Guevara admits the need for even tighter security inside the country's biggest penitentiary, located in Muntinlupa. He also wants to regionalize prison facilities to decongest jails, hoping the improved environment would promote rehabilitation of prisoners. Up next on Newsnight, no action at court for now after the Philippine Basketball Association suspends games for the week. And Chris Aquino's deleted photographs online gets netizens speculating, is Mel Sarmiento out of the picture? Details after the break.
The possibility of a fresh start brought about by the new year always inspires change, including leading a healthier lifestyle and losing weight.
You have to prefer the vegetables, and you have to eat fresh. So that's one thing that we have to adhere to every day.
You have to develop a fitness plan that can actually fit your budget. It should for all, fitness is a lifestyle change.
Catch us on Med Talk Health Talk on CNN Philippines.
This week are put on pause because of the upgrade to Alert Level 3 in Metro Manila. The Games and Amusement Board will announce when tournaments can kick off again. Meanwhile, Philippine Athletics Track and Field Association President Philip Ella Wico plans to contest the Philippine Olympic Committee's decision declaring him persona non grata. The committee said Wico made malicious accusations against pole vaulter EJ Obiena, which allegedly involved the athlete falsifying reports about his coach's salary.
The basic thing is walang due process. Basic thing is it's not in their jurisdiction. So that's what it is, and we're going against it. That's all, and we are giving a report to our International Federation, World Athletics, of what's going on.
Wico also stressed the matter involving Obiena should be resolved internally first before the POC gets involved. And making waves online, all photographs and videos of Chris Aquino's fiancée, Mel Sarmiento, can no longer be found on the star's Instagram account. The deleted pictures got some netizens concerned, even if neither Chris nor Mel has yet to announce a split, while others are asking to give Chris and the former Interior Secretary privacy at this time. The pair first announced their engagement in October on an Instagram post last December 25. The actress talked about being grateful for Mel and hit back against those offering negative opinions about their relationship. We're open to getting Chris's side of the story. And also, taking over social media, Harry Potter fans welcoming the new year with nostalgia. Hashtags Harry Potter 20th anniversary and Return to Hogwarts went trending on Twitter after the cast's long-awaited reunion came out January 1st. Fans got emotional over Emma Watson and Rupert Grint's stories of how the world-famous franchise changed their lives. Emma and Tom Felton reuniting also caught the hearts of many after the actress admitted she used to have a crush on Tom. And before we go, beloved American actress and comedian Betty White is gone, but certainly not forgotten, and her fans will have a special opportunity to remember her this month. CNN's David Daniel has that and more in the Hollywood Minute.
Hello, I'm Betty White.
The show will go on. Betty White died on New Year's Eve, but producers are going ahead with Betty White, A Celebration. The documentary on the remarkable performer's life and career will still play in theaters one night only, Monday, January 17th, White's 100th birthday. Check fathomevents.com for locations.
We have unfinished business.
Black Widow was a box office hit, but its director, Kate Shortland, was part of a shrinking minority. The Center for the Study of Women in Television and Film at San Diego State University says Shortland and Eternals director Chloe Zhao were two of just 12 female directors among the year's top 100 films at the domestic box office. That's down from 16 in 2020. The report shows women continue to be underrepresented in key film industry jobs.
Hello, dearies.
Mrs. Doubtfire is hoping to wait out the Omicron variant. The Broadway show has announced a 9-week hiatus through March 14th in hopes the latest surge in COVID-19 cases will have ebbed by then. Producers said in a statement, "We are doing everything in our power to keep the virus from prematurely ending our run on Broadway." In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
And that is it for tonight. Join me again on News.ph at 7 p.m. I'm Pia Ontiveros for Newsnight, where we go above and beyond the headlines.